And the white man. Oh, the white lady just told us what we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the hardest part of the ring with your host, better than the best, Teron Bishop. To my right and always ready to fight, especially tonight, Mr. Monday Night. And on the wheels of steel, making us all sound very, very chill, Hollywood, Jacoby.
Yes, sir.
They can see
yes,
his
sir.
face.
Hello.
They ain't even giving him away.
Hi.
Okay.
You know, this is a different era. This is a more elite Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. This is it, guys. We're here. We're finally here.
I forgot the camera's on my face. Like, you see me. Tonight. And okay, all right. So tonight we got these curls popping. You know, we got the Elite popping. We got AEW popping. Raw is happening currently in real time, which nobody cares about. And we have to review All Out. And I think it's some very different outlooks and feelings here. So I will do it like this. Pick a number from 1 to 5, Jacoby.
5.
Okay, and then Javon.
Ooh.
Pick your number. 1 to 5. Can you hear me?
I don't know.
Javon, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Pick your number from 1 to 5.
2.
Okay, Jacoby. So you won this. My number was 5. So you get to lead us off with your insight and how you felt about All Out.
Okay. I mean, you know, just like Adam Cole, let's take a little story time. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm watching the entire thing all the way through, and throughout the entire thing, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, wow, this is really good. I found myself continuously paying attention, and ultimately after everything, when all's said and done in that show, I was adamant that this was the best pay-per-view that I've seen all year. And I stand by it. Upon further review, I gave it a day. I slept on it. I still am more excited about pro wrestling now than I was 2 days ago. And I think that in itself means that I remain sports entertained. And we ask that question all the time. Are you not sports entertained? And I found myself certainly that. So I will leave the rest to you both.
Monday night.
What?
Would you like to go next or what? Like,
nah, you go ahead.
Look, America, listen, I'm going to take you down a journey, right? Like, from my perspective of this whole entire show. I kind of summed it up in our, we have a group chat that we all speak in, you know, throughout the weekend, things and such. And I put it quite clear of where I stood. The Miro match was a bad call for the match to start. I'm sorry.
From the top rope.
Look. Yep. The Miro match was
whoever's person is. We have our own Joker card joining the chat room. I don't know. Carry on, please. We'll figure it out.
Oh, okay. I don't know what was going on. You mean, in
our actual Zoom chat, yes.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, Miro being the first match was a bad call. Just in my personal opinion, that it was a decent match, but I just wanted to be played somewhere else on the card. I didn't like the Moxley match at all whatsoever. Like, it just didn't really do anything for me. Britt Baker's match was good. Like, the women's match was solid, but again, still sloppy play from the women. Jericho and MJF, great storytelling. I loved it through and through. That match could have went either way and I would have been okay. CM Punk and Darby Allin it was slow to kind of get into. Solid match, but just slow to kind of get into. The where it was placed also in the pay-per-view, which was kind of pushed more forward, or more towards the middle. I don't think that was a main event worthy match though. I'm not going to go that far. I think they put the main event in the right space. The cage match with the Lucha Brothers, fucking amazing. Probably the match of the entire night was that cage match. I mean, those boys left everything on the table. I really enjoyed that through and through. The main event was good, but I mean, we just kind of held off just to get the stars. Like that was it. It's the typical AEW formula, in my personal opinion. So that's where I stood. All in all, did it change the landscape of wrestling? Yes, but is it the best thing? Is it compared to the NWO or Kevin Nash and Scott Hall showing up to WCW, which I've heard that? No, it doesn't. Does it compare to Hogan going Hollywood? No, it doesn't. Like it was just a good pay-per-view. Like it wasn't a great pay-per-view. It was a good pay-per-view. And it was kind of consistent to me across the board of the pay-per-views that we've gotten, all year long. Monday night.
I agree.
Anything would you like to add?
Oh, no, I agree.
Right.
There we go. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good show. I think that for the most part, if you took away the debuts, then I don't think this show is as good as what everybody's saying it is.
That's where I am.
Like I thought the cage match was that's the classic. That's a classic. But everything else, I thought Omega Cage was good. That was a great match. Punk and Darby was okay. I actually thought Miro and Kingston was better than Punk and Darby personally, but I do appreciate the Bret Hart throwbacks in the Punk match, so they get extra points for me. But then once you get past that, everything else I could have did without. Like the Battle Royal was alright. The women's title match was alright. It won't really too much for real.
Right.
If you take away Cole and Danielson, this pay-per-view ain't as great as everybody make it out to be,
I guess people excitement. I don't want people not to be excited because I was excited. Like the thing is, I was sports entertained. I'm not gonna lie, but just the amount of hype like that is happening right now. Let me pull some quotes real quick. Again, best pay-per-view. This one's, I don't want to call it controversial because I'm just like, okay, it's kind of a fair statement. Best pay-per-view of the year. Oh my God, we've just watched the beginning of the end of the WWE. They just put Vince on notice in one move.
I mean, kinda. He did just call an emergency meeting about creative today. So
another man's trash, another man treasure. Like this pay-per-view proved that. Triple H and McMahon better get their shit together because Tony Khan's about to rule the world.
It's not Triple H's fault.
So I mean, those just a couple. I agree, but I mean, those are a couple of comments that we've gotten that I've seen across the internet.
Yeah, but people are gonna be outlandish like that anyway. You know what I mean? This is what we talk about all the time. Is that like the All Elite fans, the BTE fans are the ones that are like this company's they're the ones that act like this company's purpose is to take down WWE, and it's like they're not. They've gone on and said that they can coexist with one another, but you know how it goes. It's just that's how they perceive this company to be. So anything that AEW does that gets renown or gets good marks from everybody is going to be catapulted into a whole other category because of those type of stands.
Yeah, but AEW don't do themselves any favors if every time you look they talking about the WWE. Like sometimes you got to shut up, like let it go and focus on your own stuff.
Look, I understand what you're saying, but I don't recall an instance where other than the ones that have been thrown away. Like, for example, like CM Punk called it like it was, you know, in his perspective. I mean, it was what it was. But Brian Danielson came in last night and said the exact opposite, that he enjoyed where he worked. And it was other factors that called into why he came over. And I believe one of them, according to Meltzer, was the tribute to Brody Lee.
Mm-hmm.
What
But it's been an ongoing thing since they started. Like when they started, the whole thing was always, we're not them.
Okay.
We're anti-WWE. You practically built the whole company off of that premise of like, hey, we ain't them. We know they fucked up over there. We're not fucked up. So come fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
like that
fine.
started this whole thing, and it's continued on through being the elite, through remarks after shows, through interviews and everything. It's consistently perpetuated this notion of, hey, we're an alternative, but we also like fuck them. And it's like, and their fans feed off of that. Their fans totally feed off of that.
Well, there's a submarket there's a submarket of people that are upset with the company and how, you know, they do historically sleep on things because they're stagnant. We talk about it all the time. They're out of touch and stagnant. They like to pretend that they can do it better when in reality it's fine as it is. Like Matt Riddle didn't need a name change. Aleister Black didn't need a name change. Like it's just little things like that. And then it's not utilizing dudes like Cesaro and Kofi for years. Then it's just like it's what we always talk about. It's just the same things. And now we have a company that sees the worth in certain people, and we'll see how Adam Cole favors in All Elite Wrestling. I don't imagine that he's gonna immediately be in a title contention, especially with his alliance with the Elite themselves. But to call him anything other than a main eventer in that company, in terms of the main event that we've already discussed on this podcast multiple times, that's Finn. I mean, yeah, it is. You know, he's gonna be a big player in that company.
So I also want to give them a call out when they did something completely cool. The longtime booking of Adam Cole coming was amazing. To pray him back to existence, bravo. Like, I enjoyed that. I don't know if y'all caught that on Being Elite, where they was like, we're going to do a seance and bring him back to life because he was dead. I thought that was really cool. They did a lot of interesting things in the show. And just looking at the combination of guys that they brought over, you got to really think about it. Adam Cole is honestly a product of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. He's a smaller guy that made a name for himself just because his charisma is off the fucking chain. You know, he's great on the mic. He looks good in the ring. He does everything right. So those three, they are three major players, but are they superstars, or AKA another way we can put it, are they megastars? Are they gonna be able to carry a marquee? Like, is that why we're going to tune in to AEW? Like, again, it's a lot of hype behind this, and I don't want people to overhype themselves into a point where they dislike AEW because it doesn't turn out the way that they want it to turn out. And that's what I see happening. Because honestly, when I think about this pay-per-view, Javon can correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct. It was honestly just an elevated Dynamite should look like this every week. It was an elevated Dynamite to me. Only thing that was big was the people that came in. That's it.
Are you serious? Are you kidding me?
I swear to fucking God.
That cage match is the best cage match of all time.
First time caller, first time listener. Just like to come in and chime in and disagree completely with Tehran. I've actually been on Jake's side, which is wild, through the chat and through this entire argument. The only thing I disagree with is I'm with Javon on the fucking Miro match. I thought that was great. I don't know. I thought
it was fine.
No, I mean, you of all people, better than the best. You've been overhyping AEW for years. I think both of us collectively, but you've always been like, well, what if this? What if that? Like, I think at this point they got it. You know, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think there's any overhype involved.
I wouldn't put it at Petty. Everybody, welcome to the chat, Prince Petty. I wouldn't call it overhype. You know, like when it comes down to it, I want to see them be successful because I want an alternative brand to actually be there to push WWE to be better. That's always been my statement. Because at the end of the day, I'm a WWE guy. Like, and that everybody knows that too. That's never going to change.
Yeah.
but the competition breeds success. This pay-per-view, again, I will say it out loud one more time. I've seen him do great things on Dynamite. I've seen him do great things. And this pay-per-view, again, you chop off a couple of things and it's just an elevated Dynamite.
You can say that about literally all the bullshit pay-per-views that we put up with from WWE all the time that aren't Big Five. I just like, it's kind of like redundant, because at the same time, like, I don't think that you're going to get a match like Jericho and MJF on Dynamite. Like, that match was surprisingly really good. Like, I was super invested regardless of who won. And I'm so happy at the fact that we got one of those things. Like, that was a really good Jericho match. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. I was expecting Stadium Stampede to be like the last good Jericho match. And this is what we got. And I'm so happy that this happened. MJF was peak heel. He can now go move forward with the ending and how it ended, and claim that AEW's got the conspiracy against him, like some Sami Zayn type shit. And Chris Jericho can leave and go do whatever he needs to do with his band and do whatever he else needs to do. Like the booking of this show, I think for me was phenomenal. Like this is so, everything about it was great. And I know last night you were saying that you don't agree with Miro and Kingston being the kickoff. Well, where else were you going to put it? Because honestly, I can't think of another place that you put it.
You could have gave me Moxley and what's his face off the start.
No, because you can't do that, because at the same time, you knew that Moxley and Kojima wasn't going to be as hype as it was. The only reason that match was there was because you wanted Suzuki afterwards to hype up Wednesday, which is something this company always does in terms of wanting us to watch on Wednesdays. That's how they book their shows. And it's like WWE doesn't make you excited for Raw unless it's WrestleMania. Like, everybody knows that the Raw after Mania is special, but everything else is kind of like, eh.
What I'm saying is WWE has 25 years, I mean, probably more than that, 40 years of fucking wrestling ahead of them. AEW at this point, they have all the right elements to be a combustible thing. They can just blow up and be amazing. All I'm saying is it has to be pedal to the metal at all times. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
From beginning to end, it has to be pedal to the metal.
And this show was
not pedal to the metal.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Here's my question to you then, Teron. You say that, your whole goal is you want AEW to breed competition for WWE to become better, right?
Yeah.
When does that happen? Because it's been 2 years now.
Well, you can't say that's unfair. You can't say that. COVID.
You just said WWE's had 40 years.
I'm saying that's unfair to say that. Like, are you talking about within the last couple of years? Is that your point?
In general, even when was the last time WWE was like legit good?
Because WWE bought that competition. Like, it's just, I gave this example before. We talk about how everybody hates GameStop, right? GameStop is like the WWE of video games. They hate them because there's no competition. There's nobody there but a whole bunch of small craft places to kind of give us a little hope here and there. They do all the right things, but they'll never be bigger than the WWE. AEW has a chance right now, but temper your expectations, because that ship could fucking burn up in a heartbeat. One misstep and they could be fucked. WWE has millions of dollars behind them. They can go buy anybody they really want. Right now, they had for the first time, maybe the second time, they had a decent pay-per-view. They really did. But again, you just chop off, okay, you got Danielson and Adam Cole. Amazing, dude. Like, great. What are you going to do with them? Because you got Aleister Black, you got Andrade, you got Miro, you got all these other people as well. The only person that came over right now that's consistent with AEW from a good crossover person, in my opinion, it's two of them. It's probably Miro and Moxley, because Moxley had a strong run in the beginning, and Miro right now. Other than that, Aleister Black is going on the right trajectory. What are you going to do with these people?
He's one of the most protected people on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going in the right trajectory with him. What are you going to do?
Andrade is in a great program, and he's going to put on a really good match on Dynamite against Pac this week.
Rampage.
Or is it on? Okay, so Rampage on Friday.
Rampage. That would have been amazing last night, though. Like, that would have just added on to an even better
icing on the cake, though. And that's what I mean by pedal to the metal. And that couldn't happen. You can't blame whatever. I don't know why Pac.
At least they didn't, hide it last minute.
No,
or not say anything at all.
No, I'm fine with that, with the match not being on the pay-per-view. There was no place to put it. Everything else got adequate time. Everything else got adequate time.
It was a place to put it. You could have kicked
Where?
Big Show
Where?
off.
They took something off to put that on. There was a match that got put on that was supposed to be a pre-show match
Right. You could have kicked
in place of that match.
Big Show and QT Marshall could have went on the pre-show at that point.
No, that was the
Really.
perfect
That was
place to
good
put
bathroom
it.
filler.
Exactly. That's what I said last night. It's the perfect pee break match. And it was
super
less than
short,
6
like-
minutes. QT lost. Paul White got a nice pop. You move on. And now you're in the
Mhm.
championship match. And you guess what? We got a really good Christian Kenny Omega match. Like, it was really good. It wasn't Cena Reigns, but it didn't have to be.
Again, I'm not dissing their matches.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You said it's not pedal to the metal. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about pedal to the metal fucking booking, man. Like, I wanted.
It was a really good booked show.
How would you have booked it?
Yeah.
Again, changing up. If Jake would calm the fuck down and listen, I'm gonna tell you, I would change the match order. And then again, if Andrade,
Do it.
I'm just saying that's what I would have done.
Do it.
I did it already. I said it.
No, you didn't. You just told us that these matches sucked and that you didn't like them.
I did not say these matches sucked and I didn't like them. When did I say these matches sucked and I didn't like them? I gave
You
every
said
match
that
credit.
Punk and Darby was slow. You said Moxley
Right,
and
but
Kojima,
I
you
said
weren't
it was-
feeling
but
it.
Jake,
You
okay,
said
now-
that Miro and
now
Kingston
you-
shouldn't
now
have
you
kicked
are
it
putting
off.
words in my mouth. I just said that they were good matches. I said, that I gave them small critiques, but at the end of the day, what you don't like to hear, and what every mega dick sucker don't like to hear, is when you critique an AEW match, you're committing a sin. All I want them is to put the best foot forward at all times. All they've done since they've arrived is just make a pay-per-view, debut somebody at the end, everybody comes all over the place. That's not acceptable. You have to do better. You're going against a fucking giant. And again, I sit back and I take Javon's shit and I go, okay, he's being cynical. But at the end of the day, from a business standpoint, it's true. Like, they're not in a place right now where they had one good, they struck for the first time. This is the first attack that they've made. Hopefully it's a mini, but we're gonna see. But they have to be consistent in what they do. And history shows that they get to points where they are high and then they fall off the fucking face of the earth. They do crazy shit. That long-term booking, and we go, oh yeah, at the end of it all. But if you're going to be a real competitor, Cody was just like 7 months ago, and Blake said the same thing when he came on the show. He said, oh, Cody was talking about they weren't competition. Now all of a sudden, WWE's competition. Make your fucking mind up and strike consistently. That's all I'm asking. That's it. And every match is not going to be a banger. I get it. But with a pay-per-view like this, all out with CM Punk on the card, like, you know what I mean? You have to swing hard as you possibly can. So what you're saying is they swung as hard as they possibly can.
Not at all. I'm just saying they put on the best pay-per-view of the year.
Well, all I'm saying is they swung and it was cute. It wasn't bad, but it was just middle of the ground for me. Like, I've seen them do amazing things. This is okay. The only thing that made this pay-per-view for real, like the thing that I was attracted to, was CM Punk. That was the first thing. And again, I still go on record to say that match was just slow. It was a slow burn. And I'm okay with that. It still was a good match. I enjoyed the storytelling of it all. But it just wasn't, I wanted something else from it. And I didn't get that. I waited 7 years for this guy to get back in the ring, and I just didn't get exactly what I wanted. And that's okay. He's there. But he got, 11 more matches? Let's count them down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, if you really want to swing for the fences, then, bring Adam Cole out and put him in a match of some sort, or have him actually interfere, or do something crazy like that. Like, balls to the wall. But all we did was just bring two people out, and we're supposed to be like, okay, yay, we brought two people out, we debuted them. I don't give a fuck. What are they gonna do? How did they really impact the pay-per-view? They just showed up. At least Ruby had a fucking match.
Okay,
Which
but their
also,
presence alone makes a difference, because that's what people are gonna retweet. Fuck the wrestling, they don't care. Everything that matters is the fact that they're there. The impact of them being there means something. Because Daniel Bryan had a choice. You say WWE can buy anybody, they couldn't buy him. John Laurinaitis is his fucking father-in-law.
And all Adam Cole wanted was Twitch.
Like, it's just like, I don't know, like, it just feels like you guys are discrediting this. And then you go and talk about like how AEW's formula is that we bring people in. Well, what the fuck is the Royal Rumble for? WrestleMania had Edge's first match since like what, the year previous, and then you also had SummerSlam where you debuted Becky Lynch and Brock Lesnar and John Cena's return match. So it's like they're seeing what WWE does and they're doing it this way.
And the reason for the Brian Danielson, I guess I'm saying that,
It's fine.
was because of the New York Delta variant thing. Like they weren't going to debut him at All Out, but that was the only time that they would have been able to do it with a proper crowd. Because they wanted to do it in New York, but New York just changed their regulations as far as crowd attendance and, you know, the COVID policy.
Oh,
so,
you talking about Madison Square Garden?
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's where
it's
they wanted to debut him.
Oh, whatever. I mean,
Arthur Ashe.
Yeah, sorry, Arthur Ashe.
But like, I mean, I don't know. I felt like this
I thought
women's
it worked
match was
out.
pretty good. I thought that the Battle Royal was the Battle Royal. I actually left the Battle Royal thinking that the women's division actually has a direction and actually has solid players now, as opposed to where they were a year ago. Like, if we want to break it down, I can break it down. Like, I mean, I thought that the Ty Conti coming in to save Anna was great. I thought that Jamie Hayter looked really strong. I thought Jade Cargill looked really strong. I thought Thunder Rosa eliminating Nyla by herself was really good booking. Like, and now now Thunder's gonna be mad because Ruby got the win over her. So like after Ruby eventually loses to Britt Baker, like they're gonna move on to their thing. And I left the championship match being like, okay, Statlander could easily be a champion in AEW.
And you got a Nyla versus Jade storyline.
Right. Like she went crazy. Like Statlander last night I thought that was one of the best women's matches that they've ever had in this company.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
left.
I didn't critique them really hard. They did a really good job. I mean, they had some sloppy parts, but again, like they don't.
Statlander did a 450. Orange Cassidy showed up and actually cared. Like it just was so good from both perspectives of both the competitors in the match. Like we knew that Statlander was going to be a really good opponent for Britt, but after that match, like we're like, okay, now at least my takeaway was that she could easily be AEW champion. Like, and that's all I needed to know from the women's division is that they have other contenders that aren't just Sheeta, Rose, Rosa, and Britt. Like now they have like other people. Like Hayter definitely could become champion soon. Like not soon, but you know what I mean? Like could eventually turn on Britt and become the mega heel. Like, I don't know. I left this match completely enamored with the way it was set up. I was completely like, Soho being the Joker was predictable. We called it going into it. We kind of knew, and she still got a great pop. And I understand like your thing about like, well, every woman deserves an entrance, but when you have 5 people coming in, there's action in the ring. Khan has to make a decision, and the producers ultimately decided to stick with the action, and that's fine. I was a little displeased, but at the same time, I'm not going to really sweat over not seeing Kira Hogan come in, not seeing Diamante run in, not seeing Emi Sakura run in, like not seeing Riho run in. Like those are the sacrifices that you make. But ultimately, like we got Ruby's entrance, that's fine. We got Tad Conti running down to save Anna. We got Penelope Ford walk down to help out Allie. Like they had their storylines that they wanted to push, and they did that. And that's a win for me for this company because that shows booking, and that shows actually better booking than what we've gotten in a WWE Women's Battle Royal.
We will see. Consistency is going to be the key here. Like, we talked about it. We didn't get a chance to talk about it because that week skipped. We talked about Rampage, CM Punk's return. That was a great show, obviously, right? We had a good time. Then the next week, it was kind of like, okay, it was a decent show. But again, they have to put their foot on the gas at all times. They need to play this because WWE is kind of, I don't want to say they're on their heels because that's not per se true.
They've taken notice.
They've taken notice. I'm not going to say they're on their heel. Oh my God, they're scared. No, but if you're really going to be a contender in the game, consistency, right, in what you do, and just being intelligent in the moves that you make. Again, the debut with what Blake said with the debut of Brian, I get that. I understand. Like I forgot about they changed the COVID rules, so they had to bring him in a little early because he wouldn't have got the same pop. Because it wouldn't have been the same amount of people there. And you can't debut him on a Dynamite. You could, but I mean, that's not fair.
Then you get the broken Matt Hardy syndrome all over again where there's no crowd. You know?
Correct. So, at this point, for the 5th time, great pay-per-view. I enjoyed myself, but it's just not everything I'm reading is not it. And I'm not a miserable wrestling fan. I enjoy what I watch, but it just wasn't the, oh my God, this is the game changing fucking second coming of Christ. It's just, they're heading in the right direction. This is, to me, the first shot that I've seen come from them. The first real, like, bullet in the chamber, motherfuckers, I'm here. Like, this is the first time I've seen this. So consistency is going to be the thing for me. Like, okay, they could bring fucking Jesus to wrestle. Like, if they're not consistent, I don't give a fuck.
No, they can't do that
Oh,
because
Bray Wyatt's coming.
No. Excuse me. No, they can't do that at all because then you guys would be like, oh, well, they stole that from WWE.
WWE had Jesus?
Yeah.
Oh, they did
Vince
have God.
McMahon
They had
wrestled
God. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't care if they steal ideas or borrow or, you know, like
They
emulate
could get
things
Buddha.
from WWE. That don't make me a difference. I don't
I
care.
want the Shiva.
I don't care. I just want, and then also, I'm also aligned with Daniel Bryan. We say sports entertained as a joke. Are you not sports entertained? Yes. Okay, cool. I want to see wrestling. And
Right.
Daniel Bryan's going to bring wrestling.
Absolutely. Like you're telling me that the idea of Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson at Full Gear doesn't like get you a little, you know, a little stiff. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me is a dream match.
That's gonna. What is everything else around it gonna look like? That's the thing. I don't want just to jump in for one match. That's how I learned about the whole New Japan and everything. I learned about it just from one match. Like I was like, oh, okay, everything had to be pieced together and made sense. Now I just expect consistency. Like, and once you use the word competition, then my mind goes into a different place. And just like Monday Night said, they use the word competition. They so worried about being competition now. And so now, if you're gonna really play that competitive game, now it's time for the real critiques. You can't just serve me up some fucking debut and expect me to be like hitched on. It doesn't work that way. WWE had to make me work, you know? When WCW and when WCW and the Attitude Era, when those two things were going on, man, we were changing channels back and forth. We were fucking recording one show and going to that because you just never knew what was going to happen. They kept us at the edge of our seats. Like at this point, if they really want to be competition, you got to keep me at the edge of my seat. And just to y'all points last week, one of you said, I couldn't remember who said it. I wrote this quote down though. One of you said that they can't keep just debuting people and thinking that's acceptable. And that's just the truth.
Ironically, I think that was me, and I totally stand by what I'm saying, but I don't think that the debuts this from stemming off of this are going to be to the same acclaim as what we got. I think that if they do end up signing Wyatt, that's going to probably be the last one, because at that point, all the megastar free agents, aside from like CJ Perry, really aren't there. And I think, what? Am I wrong? You tell me. You tell me who else was out there aside from Bray Wyatt. You tell me.
Buddy Murphy.
Wait, no.
Okay.
Did you just say
You just call her a megastar?
Did you say megastar?
Listen to me right now. Listen to me right now.
You don't think Bray Wyatt's a megastar?
I think that Bray Wyatt starts a conversation. I think that Bray Wyatt starts a conversation unlike the likes of Buddy Murphy, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, CJ Perry, all these people that are eventually going to come and sign somewhere. But ultimately, out of who's left, Bray Wyatt would be considered the largest star out of all of them.
But
I'm sorry that the word mega gets everyone so riled up, but it's like not everyone's there's never going to be another Hogan.
Right, I said that last week. It's never good.
Right,
you know, we're gonna have a superstar. We're never gonna have a megastar. Like, but again, that's the internet's terminology, though. Is Adam Cole's a megastar? Blake, is Adam Cole a megastar? Even as marky as you are, is Adam Cole a megastar?
No, that's why Kenny's there.
Oh shit.
What a petty dick.
Consistent.
Superstar.
Consistent.
They had to bring him back from the dead. Like, what do you want?
Yeah, he kept it consistent. But like, you know, again, that's the internet's thought process though. Like megastars are Hogan, Flair,
Austin.
The Rock,
Yeah.
Austin. You know, those are like megastars.
Okay.
Do you consider Edge a megastar?
No.
No,
He's a superstar.
he is not a
But-
megastar.
Yeah, he's him and Cena. Well, Cena's a megastar now, but
Cena
him and Orton are in that tier of like could have been, probably should have been, but were never because they just couldn't get that babyface connection that the other ones did. If that makes sense. Kurt Angle's also in that one for me too.
So Blake, you came in a little late. So the pay-per-view itself, I mean, from just a mark perspective, right? Like how do you feel about it?
If we're giving it a rating, it's a B for me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think it's like it's like a B plus. It's a high B.
That's an A show. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So the funny thing is, Blake, I agree with you. It was a B show.
Yeah. I mean, like the debuts, like
damn,
the
Hollywood.
debuts were amazing. The matches, there were some matches that were kind of
Hey.
slow, but I mean, like there's like for me, the women's battle royal was the weakest one up until the last 10 minutes of it. The last 10 minutes were great. But like the build up to get Ruby in there, I was like, all right, like we all knew she was coming.
What was the strongest match for you of the night?
Oh, the fucking cage match, hands down.
Poetry in motion, dude. Like that cage match.
But the Christian match was fucking amazing too. So like I didn't like other than I think the women's battle royal for me was the weakest one. Everything else I loved. Like the Miro Eddie Kingston match, I thought was great. Moxley's was pretty. I'd put that on the like that was good just because like there's history involved there. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. The history in the match.
So like that, so I appreciated that. And then the debut afterwards with Suzuki, like that's a big deal. That's a really fucking big deal. And they've been trying to do that for like the past year. They just couldn't because of traveling and everything else. Like that's I want to say that they've fought in New Japan, but they have very similar styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
So Blake, one more thing. So the debuts in your perspective,
if I took those away, because I don't count those. I do not count the debuts, which is why it still gets a B.
Okay. All right, cool.
Because the debuts did nothing other than Ruby's. Ruby competed to what you said. It makes sense. Adam Cole is back with his boy. That's the elite. Bryan Danielson was just thrown in there because he couldn't do New York. So he doesn't really have a storyline going into this debut. It's just like I'm here and I'm siding with Christian and the fucking Jurassic Express just because that's all they could do at the moment.
So Monday Night laughed at us when we said B. Javon, why did you laugh? Because I feel you feel something completely different than we feel.
Oh, I don't. I was laughing because I felt bad for Hollywood.
What'd you give it?
I think Hollywood felt like Keith would at least be on his side.
I thought B was pretty strong.
And
Like
for him
I think
to-
a B
for
show
I'm
is
not
for him
counting
to
the
hear-
debuts.
Let me tell you something. When he said B, Jacoby's heart just broke. I could see it. In
But
that
it's a
B
B
was
is
a
good.
A B plus is really high. What are you
Right.
Why
A B is
and
square.
that's not me counting the debuts. Like, if you take the debuts away, are you giving it like an A with the debuts added or without it? Like,
You can't not have the debuts as a part of it. That's the whole point of the
I'm
entertainment.
looking at it from the wrestling aspect, I guess. The wrestling aspect,
What?
not counting the debuts. Like, if I was Dave Meltzer and I'm rating these, he doesn't rate like what are they called? NDRs? They just don't count.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm looking at the wrestling matches and how much I was entertained, how invested I was into the storyline itself. So the debuts don't count for that. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
fine. You
it
still
was
got a
dope. Like, I
6-star
loved it.
cage match. You got a decent decent, 3.5-star Kenny Omega match. You got a nice CM Punk debut. I mean, it was slow in the beginning, but
That
ultimately
Kenny
they
match
ended
was
up
at least
getting it
a 4
out.
or 5, first off.
Regardless, it's okay. That just furthers my
Yeah.
point that it was a great show. Like, it's
Yeah, but
just,
then you have like the CM Punk thing. Like, I think that match could have ended a little bit sooner. The storytelling was great. Like, I
Okay.
agree with Teron in that aspect. And seeing CM Punk, like, it's him getting the ring rust off. So we got that aspect. We should never have another CM Punk match like that. Period. Like, that should be the last one like that in that style. In
And
my
please
opinion.
take off them pants, girl.
The pants, I get it, which is weird because he wore the the shorts or the briefs and heels, and it looked weird too. So I think it's just his body at his age right now. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's changed. Got it.
Yeah. So the pants make sense. But like the Big Show thing, like it was good. It was fast. It was good for a bathroom break, but that still takes away from the show. Like, I agree. It was put there for a rhyme and a reason. It was there for Big Show to like get his pop, knock out QT for like 5 minutes. But like the placement makes sense for those in attendance, but for those at home, not so much. Like I get that that's like, and even then, like, does AEW really want people walking out of a match to go to the bathroom? Like, I don't know.
Boom.
It's a weird one. It's like, why would you put that match there?
It's a palate cleanser.
I get that. I get
You're in
that, but
Chicago. CM Punk just showed up. You need somebody in between.
I understand that, and that's why it was as short as it was. But take it like from us watching at home, we're not physically there in Chicago. You know what I mean?
And
like that's
It just didn't
it
feel
still
the
takes
same.
away from the show. Yeah, it would be like we have this huge match, and then we put fucking Lana versus Nia Jax.
It lost immersion. Like I
On
was
for, like-
out of the pocket. That's Keith just explained exactly how I feel. It just
But I
took
get
me
both
out of the
sides.
pocket.
I'm just saying that took away from the pay-per-view as a whole. Then it would like that was a solid match. It was fast. I was okay with that. I get what its purpose was, but if we're looking at this from like, best pay-per-view ever, and we're critiquing it the way that we should be, and it's definitely like I'm not sure. I have to go back and rewatch Revolution, but I don't know if it's the best of 2021. It's definitely like at least top 3.
That's the other
But I don't
statement
know
that
if it's
bothered the shit out of me.
number 1 or number 2. But it's definitely in there. Like I agree with that because we haven't had shit this year.
Right.
Best pay-per-view of all time. That one's definitely not.
It's an aggressive statement, right? Blake, please tell me that's an aggressive statement.
The 2021 I agree with. That I can get behind that. But best pay-per-view of all time, nah, I wouldn't say all that.
Monday
It was a
night,
solid show. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Monday night, please help balance us out. Like, cause you out there, usually you balance shit out. Like, just balance it out.
Y'all are
Balance
fucking
it out.
crazy. Y'all are really fucking crazy if you think Revolution stands any chance of being as good as the show. I'm looking at the actual card right now,
What was
and I will
Revolution?
tell you
I might be thinking Revolution last
exactly
year.
what happened. Revolution 2021, you had Britt Baker and Ito versus Riho and Rosa to kick off. Do you remember that match? Because I certainly don't remember that match.
No, keep
Young
going.
Bucks beat Inner Circle. Congratulations. Ray Phoenix won the tag team battle royal, eliminating Jungle Boy. Shida beat Ryo Mizunami. Great. Cool. Still don't remember that. Hangman beat Matt Hardy. Awesome. Can't believe that.
Never mind. I'm definitely thinking Revolution last year.
Like,
My
and then you
ears
had
are
Kenny
blending.
Omega beating John Moxley in the barbed wire death match. Like, that's the only thing that people
That's
remember
why that
aside
was
from
so
the
good. Kenny
the
Omega headline.
Darby. Like,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
you know,
No, I'm
y'all
thinking
just
last year's
crazy.
Revolution with the tag battle. That's what that was. So yeah, I'd say it was best of 2021,
Thank you.
but not best of all time.
I don't think anyone in this chat is arguing best of all time.
I mean, motherfucking niggas on the internet
On
is.
Twitter, yeah, that's
Yeah. Like,
Then tell
is
them
really
to take
weird.
a chill pill. But ultimately, if you this is my best pay-per-view of 2021, and I don't think it's
Yeah,
really that
no, that's
close.
fair.
Like, and I know Javon's like, okay, what about NXT Stand and Deliver? But those are 2 nights. Like, it's hard to really accurately be like, okay, well, this night 1 surpasses this entire pay-per-view. It's like that's a half.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
how many
It's just like
hours- hold on,
WrestleMania
how
this
many
year.
hours total was
Right.
Stand and Deliver?
Stand and Deliver was 4 hours with the 2 hours because they give themselves 5 matches but 5 matches a night, that's 10 matches, but they give them plenty of time. Like that's
How many
another
matches
thing.
was on this card?
We had 10
math.
matches. I mean, it's 10. We had 9 matches and then we had 1 pre-show match. But that pre-show match we shouldn't count because that was like everybody gets a spot.
Pre-show. Yeah.
So Javon, with that, knowing that, do you still stand by your what you said about Stand and Deliver?
Yeah.
fine.
So I get both. So you're telling me I get both nights of stand because I just wanted night 1, but I can have both.
If it's 10 matches,
Then
why
yeah.
not?
Then hell yeah. From top to bottom, yes. Top to
I'd say
bottom.
it's
That's
the number
better.
2 show.
Give
'Cause
me-
it's the
pull
last
it up,
NXT
Jake.
show you'll
Jake,
get
pull
like
it up.
that.
Pull up the card, Jake. Pull up the card.
Okay.
Like I'll admit they probably have the best match out of everything with the cage match.
Absolutely.
But
Wasn't that the
the
Walter?
NXT, if you're telling me I get Io and Raquel, I get Walter Ciampa,
You get Balor versus Cross.
Gargano Bronson.
You get Gargano versus Bronson. You get Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and then you get Shotzi and Ember versus The Way.
That was just night 2.
And then you get Devlin versus Escobar to close out night 2.
That was a classic ladder match. And
then night 1, you got, excuse me, so we got night 1, you got Zoe Stark and Toni Storm on the pre-show. Don't remember that. Pete Dunne versus Kushida. I was like, this is a really good technical wrestling match. Bronson Reed defeated Leo Ruff,
Javon's
Swerve, Grimes, Loomis, and LA Knight in a gauntlet to then face Johnny Gargano. Okay. Walter beat Tommaso Ciampa. MSK beat Grizzled Young Veterans and Phantasma, which was a really fucking good tag team match. And then you had Io Shirai losing to Raquel.
Yeah. I'll take that.
That was a good card.
That card.
I'll take that.
That card.
Yeah, like
but it didn't have Adam Cole debuting.
Right. Well, that's another thing too. Is like, but like, did you? But like, that's my thing. Is like, okay, while these were really good matches, like ultimately, first of all, Adam Cole lost, which Kyle O'Reilly was then like the number 1 babyface on NXT at that point, because this was before everyone hated him, Tehran. And then you get the other ones, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care about the Shotzi Ember match. I felt like that was kind of trash in terms of like, I mean, I felt bad for Indy Hartwell and Candice, but ultimately they got theirs eventually. I don't really remember. I mean, I definitely didn't like the Cross versus Balor match because Cross won, and I didn't give a shit about either of them as champion, which is one of the reasons why I think NXT ultimately failed. Escobar and Devlin was probably a really good match. I just can't remember it either. And we didn't get no hop because Devlin lost. So sad times for the community. And then like you got Gargano versus Bronson, and Gargano won to retain, which is great, but ultimately it's a Bronson Reed match. And I know some people were high on him, but me personally, I'm kind of like, okay, like
where is he now?
For me. Well, he's fired, and that's okay. He's doing whatever he needs to do. But when night 1 of this night 1 was by far the better night of the 2.
But Stand and Deliver as a whole, you're gonna be mad. I gotta kind of side with you.
It's 2 nights though, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's 2 nights, and it's like, did you really go into that Monday and Tuesday being like, did y'all watch Stand and Deliver over the weekend? Like, and plus, if I remember correctly, like this was WrestleMania weekend, right? So this wasn't even on the weekend. This was like Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday and a Friday.
Right. So nobody even cared about this pay-per-view because it was WrestleMania weekend.
It sounds like you're trying to.
We did. No, but I'm just saying.
That's what it's starting to sound like.
No, but if you want to pull a cowherd on it, like, okay, what people really weren't talking about this. They were talking about All Out 2021.
Yeah, you're talking about it now. Have that same energy 6 months from now, like you're having with Stand and Deliver.
We'll have an award show at 12.
It's been like 6 months.
Have it 6 months. It's been 5 months.
And I really don't think you're going to feel the same way. Like I've been telling you, you're a prisoner of the moment. It's happening right now. So you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. 6 months from now, when they drop another pay-per-view, you're not even gonna think about this pay-per-view. It's just gonna be because Cole and Danielson debuted.
No, not at all. My thing
is
the same way
you feel about Stand and Deliver, because I remember when Stand and Deliver hit and you loved it. Don't you try to go back on it now.
No, I mean, upon reviewing the card, like I said, the biggest match for me was the MSK match. I thought that match was fucking great. That match was probably my NXT match, like definitely in my top 5 NXT matches of this year. I don't think it's even close, but it is what it is.
I want to just make sure that we get this on the record.
It's on record that this is my pay-per-view of the year.
Right, but this. So it's B's across the board. Prince Petty, Better Than the Best, Monday night, all B's, correct?
B+.
That's not the
B+. Right, but I'm just saying, right, Javon B?
It's in the 90s.
It's in and then you give it an A, right?
Yeah, it's definitely an A. It was an A show.
Okay, so
I'm like a couple of points under that A. Like I studied and I was there, but I missed that one question. which was the big show match. So
Well, if that's the case, I missed like 2 questions, maybe 3. Like, you know, and
Bro, you
it,
might be a
all,
C
all
at
on
heart.
all on technicality. But it's kind of funny though, because our roles are playing right now. Like again, Javon's the historian. Fucking Keith is the mark. Like that's his job. Blake, Hollywood, you the play-by-play guy. You know, like, and I'm just the voice of the motherfucking ass people. I just call it the way it is. I don't give a shit. So I mean, it's funny how all of our opinions of this pay-per-view and the different vantage points where it stands. I mean, again, I want to make it clear. I'm not pandering to our audience. I enjoyed the pay-per-view, but I want them to be better than the best. That's it. I want them to bring it as hard as they can because I want to see them succeed because it's going to make for great TV. We're going to get all kinds of shit. Like, it's going to be the best wrestling / sports entertainment that we can get.
And with that, you want them to be better than the best, but MJF's already better than you, and he knows it.
We'll see how he bounced back on Thursday.
It's easy. He's
Wednesday,
gonna. I already told you how he's gonna do it. He's gonna come in and tell everybody that Aubrey Edwards should be fired. Which, I mean, kind of don't blame him. I mean, she did totally end that match without looking at his leg. You know, if we want to get all technical with it, you know, shout out to Aubrey. But you almost cost Chris Jericho his career.
So, highlights of the night, some good stuff after this. I was going to point out that obviously, creative genius with Ruby Soho's name. The entrance music, fire. Like, I haven't heard that song in years.
Ruby Soho. That's gonna be sick.
Mark, I'm sorry, Mark. Jesus Christ, what's the boy name?
Marco Stunt?
No, Tony Khan is paying some money right now to make this happen. He is really kind of giving.
He's got
us
Wild Thing. He's got Soho. He's got fucking. He's got the Cult of Personality.
Yep,
Whatever.
But we gotta talk about.
There was a reason why we didn't get Final Countdown. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Final Countdown
For Brian Danielson, his old theme was Final Countdown for
From
that.
Europe.
Like everyone was expecting that, yeah. But Europe wanted 50K per play.
Well, who gives a fuck? Because the one he got right now is
Oh yeah, it's fire. It's fucking amazing.
motherfucking bop.
Yeah.
Like it is the bop of this. Like we thought that Frankie Monet was a bop. Nah, Brian Danielson shit that moved up to the top of the bop.
Even Adam Cole's was really good.
Adam Cole's was very good, but it's not it's not up there with the damn Branson bop. Okay, like I'm hooked at this point, and I'm very excited to see the wrestling element that Brian Danielson is going to bring to this program. Somebody made a comment that this is like Ring of Honor 2.0. Okay, like I enjoyed the fuck out of Ring of Honor, like at its peak point. So let it be that. You ain't saying nothing that's wrong. They got all the major players from Ring of Honor and New Japan in there. Whatever. They just get to finish what they started, in my opinion. So I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of this. I really am, but we just don't need AEW stepping in shit, like which they can do very quickly. It can turn on its head so fast, and we can be right back in the same place as when we had hope for when Impact came out. We had big hopes for that. We had big hopes for fucking Ring of Honor. We had big hopes for these things, and people get ultimately disappointed because their expectations are way too high. At this point, AEW is 2 years old, going against something that's 40 years in the making. Like, that's like us saying that we're gonna go after Meltzer. The fuck? No, we could, yeah, but we're 2 years into it. This man got fucking his heels dug into the game. Like,
I mean, yeah.
We can claw, we can fight, we can be scrappy. But, you know, not saying we can't get there, but realistic expectations is going to take work. You see what I'm saying?
Lee almost ruined his entire career, so it is what it is, you know?
So, you know, like with this bullshit here, I just don't want people on the internet just going crazy. They're excited right now. But I believe what Javon said, when the dust settles, we go back and look at this 5 months down the road, 6 months down the road, we're going to think about it and go, oh, shit, like, wait a minute. Like,
No, we're not. We're going to be like, that was the greatest cage match of all time.
But
and
you just said it though, the greatest cage match. You didn't say the greatest show.
That was the greatest show of 2021.
Absolutely. I'll still say it. Like, we do an award show every December. I'm going to officially stand by this.
Jake, that's you. I'm talking about everybody else though. All it's gonna take is the next show, and they're gonna say that's the greatest show.
It won't be Extreme Rules.
We
Right.
all know that. We ain't lying
We
about
know
that.
that.
Definitely won't be Survivor Series. So, I mean, it just is what it
We
is.
don't know about that. Like,
Wow.
No, I'm just saying, like, so we
We
have to worry about. Rumor has it, like, and I posted it today that they obviously they watched this shit. So you have to worry about what the retaliation is going to be. This is a game now. You know, we are
Undertaker.
not playing, huh?
It's gonna be
Yeah, Undertaker. Yeah. Braun
You got the Saudi
Strowman.
show coming up.
they don't have anything
Undertaker.
they can retaliate with. The one thing they can retaliate with, they're never gonna retaliate with. It's like
The
right
Rock.
now they don't have anybody they can bring back.
Other
There's
than
nobody they can bring back that's gonna even matter unless it's The Rock.
right.
And he's
coming
booked until 2022 or 2023.
right. So like,
Yeah.
there's nobody left. They really have to like change shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mhm.
their problem now is more inside. It's more of a culture thing. That's why people are leaving. That's why Adam Cole's leaving. That's why Daniel Bryan left. You know, it's like it's a culture thing inside WWE that until they figure out how to change that culture inside and change pretty much who's on top, you can't, there's no retaliating because they can't bring nobody back now that we want to really see. We don't want to see the Undertaker. We don't want to see Goldberg again. What, you gonna bring Hulk Hogan out there? We don't want to see that.
You're gonna see Goldberg and Undertaker.
It's like we got shit. Like they want to retaliate. Put the belt on Cesaro. That's how you retaliate.
That's
Right.
what. But Javon,
Put
that's
the
what I'm
belt
saying.
on him.
But they
Yeah,
won't
The
do
only
it.
chance you
Right.
fucking got.
Right.
Bring up Johnny Gargano and have him beat Bobby Lashley. You really want to retaliate? There you go.
Right.
Or you bring
Rumors
up-
are that they're gonna get rid
Or
of
have
him too.
Biggie
So
cash in. Just have Biggie cash in. Just have Biggie
Huh?
cash in
Yeah.
and win. But not win against Bobby Lashley. Have him win against Roman Reigns. Oh, motherfuckers will die. Like, you know? But
yeah,
then-
until he loses the belt to Brock in 22 seconds.
unfortunately, he is black.
That's good shit.
Right.
That's that good shit.
Nah, he got at least last 30 seconds, y'all. Bianca just lost in 27.
Well, how many did
And
Kofi? How many?
Kofi
did
lost in
lose?
9.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
it was
gotta
like
lose in
9
8.
seconds, bro. 9 seconds, yeah. And then they got to give the belt to Xavier next year, so they get the trifecta.
That'll be the nail in the coffin for me. If they ever let him have a major title. I'm not kidding.
I'll probably have to ease off of WWE after that.
Right.
Like, I ain't gonna lie.
All I'm saying for y'all is if Johnny Gargano ends up leaving WWE over some bullshit like this, like the matches he'll put on in All Elite Wrestling are gonna be phenomenal.
But here's the problem, though: the bloat, like the bloat from all of this, because this is a big deal. It's just like I compared it in a conversation to the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. In the Eternals promo, they said that snapping 3 times made the aliens go and notice us now. They're coming, right? At this point, AEW to snap like twice back to back. You know, one more big snap, you know, the bloat is going to come. And then how they're going to handle it? They don't have a TV deal for that right now. Like, they only have a show and a half.
Oh, TBS will give them fucking what does TBS play right now? Because they're moving from TNT to TBS. TBS doesn't have shit air.
They got Family Guy
competition-wise.
reruns.
Yeah, so TBS will give them the spot. Like, I don't think that's an issue.
They got Miracle Workers, and that's about it.
Miracle Workers is good, but that's like the
I
only
enjoy
thing they
Miracle
have right now.
Workers.
And I think what's that space show that's like a ripoff of Rick and Morty? That's
Final
actually good.
Space?
Yeah, that one's actually pretty good.
I thought Final Space was on Adult Swim, but I think you are right
They
because
moved it
Conan's-
from yeah.
So, historian of the group, Javon, Monday night, what is the next move? At now, we've seen what happened at All Out. What we should be expecting to see over the next few weeks?
For who?
Well, just wrestling in general.
The Fiend.
WWE versus WWE and AEW. What we should be expecting to see?
WWE just gonna be business as usual.
Okay.
They're
That's
not
unfortunate.
they're not really about to
Yep. Agree.
change shit for real. Like, cause it ain't no reason for them to, for real. Like, I think what this does is plays more into a part of Vince having his hands on NXT. But that's what I'm more interested in to see how that shit turns the fuck out. That whole rebrand and everything. But
Do you see who they release next?
yeah, but they just
R.I.P.
gonna
Carmelo
be
Hayes.
right, like, but they're just gonna be business as usual. Because again, until AEW goes on Mondays or Vince says fuck it, let's put Raw on Wednesdays.
They ain't doing that.
He don't give a fuck. Really,
Okay.
I think with the heat that they have with the networks right now between USA and Fox, that would be the most, like, they're not going to do that. That'd be a bad business move. That's not good for business.
And they'd get blown away on if they moved Raw of all shows to Wednesday.
Right.
Like, not blown away, but like, yeah, like they're barely reaching like the 1.9.
So Javon, AEW, what do we see next? And I saw your hand, Jake. Like I'm not
okay. I'm glad that we're.
Oh, they're about to keep the train moving. Like, they have all the momentum right now. They really do. Like, they have all the momentum as long as they don't fuck up and put some bullshit on. Like, they have so many different directions they can go with the people that they got, especially at the top. And then
their main event, bro. Their main event, right? And then you
still got like Hangman Page sitting on the sidelines. Right there, you have that story you still have not told yet.
Well, he took time off for
still waiting to pull the trigger on that.
No, but he had to take the time off because if they put the belt on him now, it wouldn't matter. Nobody would care.
Right.
Well, it was that, and his wife is pregnant. Like, he asked for time off.
Yeah. But it's like you have so many different shit you can go to when you have that, and then you still got Bryan Danielson, you still got CM Punk, you possibly could have Bray Wyatt, you got Adam Cole, you got a lot there. It's like, just don't fuck it up. That's it. Just keep the train rolling.
What I like about Bryan Danielson, what he said was the OGs of AEW made him pay attention to their product. Like they made him want to go there. And that's a good feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Because if that's people's true heart and true nature, then AEW is going to be an amazing place. You know, it really will.
At this point, like with AEW's, like their original plan was for superstars to be able to take time off, like what Paige is doing right now. What Cody, thank God, did. Is we can get that rotation of a roster now because we're actually building it up to where you can rotate people off so they get a break, they go recover and train and then come back, and then it's a big deal again. So you're actually going to be able to get that. So I don't think the term bloated for the roster is right if you're still looking at their scheme or their original idea.
Good call out. So all right, now we're gonna take it to our play-by-play, Hollywood. Same two questions for Monday night.
Fellas, this is what's going to happen. All right. Here's what's going to happen. At Extreme Rules, Goldberg will have his back against the wall against Bobby Lashley and will run into the crowd and come back out with a nice rod and proceed to then tase champion Bobby Lashley and MVP and pin Bobby Lashley to become WWE champion.
Oh wait, Goldberg's hurt. He can't wrestle.
Again, they will tase him, and there will happen the poke all over again. The death of Monday Night Raw.
Damn.
Tasing black people.
I don't think that's the way to go. I'm with you, Blake. I don't think that's the way to go.
You know what I mean? You just got to do it. You got to take a chance. I think that it has worked in the past.
I don't know if
good little
beating kids.
No.
Your Vince Russo is just
he has
strong.
a point. Like, let's feed into what's going on in America right now.
Oh no!
Like, let's have this white man tase this black man. let's really make this shit some real. That's how you get them fucking ratings. This will be all on CNN.
Right.
Monday Night Black.
That's what you need to do.
Right. Yeah. And then we'll have in the undercard, you'll have like Damian Priest lose because somebody coughed on him and now he's got COVID, and it's it would just be the ultimate thing in the world. Like, God, how else can we make it more edgy?
Are you gonna really give us some fantasy booking, sir, or like what? What are you gonna do? You get your opportunity to talk now.
I'm just saying. So what I would do if I was WWE and you want to revitalize, you look at the people that you have and you build from there. You want to establish new stars. You have a ton of great stars already. You have people like Matt Riddle that you're just sitting on in the tag team, when the story there that you could tell is the eventual divorce. Make that the main event that's not Roman Reigns' match at WrestleMania. Make that the main title. At this point, nobody's truly invested in Bobby from an actual like support thing. He's the heel. We get that. We love that, and that's fine. But ultimately, there's an opportunity where you can tell a story, a really good comprehensive story about RK Bro, and then have them main event one of the nights of WrestleMania. And I think that it would solidify Riddle as one of the biggest baby faces in the company, which he has the potential to be, given that people love him. People think he's funny. He's a very original character, given that
Riddle
he
could be
plays
the next John
himself.
Cena.
No. Moving on. Anyway, you will be muted, sir. Anyway, but it's just a way that you can do it. They have the tag titles now. You lead into it. Survivor Series maybe happens, and let's give a stipulation of like whoever, if Team Raw wins, whoever gets the pin is going to be the next contender for the last pay-per-view of the year, or for the next contender for Royal Rumble or some shit. You know what I mean? And what I would do is I would have RK Bro be the last two. So instead of having a sole survivor, you have two survivors. And you're like, oh, well, now what are we going to do? So at that pay-per-view in between Royal Rumble and Survivor Series, you have them wrestle for the number one contendership. And then you have Orton win on some bullshit. And then you have Orton win the title at Royal Rumble. You have Matt Riddle then win the Royal Rumble. And then there you go. Money. Or you have Orton screw Riddle out of the Royal Rumble and then have Riddle have to win in the Elimination Chamber. And there you go.
So let's get to the good stuff. Go to AEW. That's what I want to hear. What happens next in AEW now? That's what I want to hear.
Here's what happens. They start with all these KIs. They start just having the initial KI all over all their crap. And it doesn't matter however long, they start doing these segments on BT about how Kenny's lonely. Kenny's so lonely. He needs a lover boy, certified lover boy. And then eventually at All Out 2022 or hell, even 2023, you debut Kota Ibushi, and then all of a sudden everybody's together and it breaks the internet and everybody comes in their little pants over this the final piece of the puzzle for this company. But in all seriousness though, what you do is you just keep giving us matches while you can. You keep giving us the matches that we've always wanted. You give us the Kenny Omega Bryan Danielson at Full Gear in 2 months or in November. And then you give us, and then in terms of like Miro, you finally have a babyface contender. Maybe it's in like a Guevara or something, and you give us a really good match. And I don't even care who wins. You have MJF now with the Pinnacle. You can build that from it's him versus AEW. It's no longer him versus it's just him versus Tony Khan and AEW. He wants his retribution. He has the ring. He has the faction. Now all he needs is the title. But Tony Khan is like, I'm not going to give you this. You have to earn this. Like, it is what it is. I don't want him to necessarily be a character, but I want him to understand and tell the story of the heel's climb and eventually he just slowly becomes more and more desperate to be known as this title contender and finally get his recognition, no longer, and achieve the destiny of I am MJF. I am better than you and I know it. And then you can also tell the story of the Lucha Brothers as the big babyface tag team against guys like FTR, against guys like, even have a nice babyface clash between Jurassic Express next. I'd be totally fine with that. Like, give it to us on Dynamite as a main event. It'd be a really great match. Eventually the Bucks can get a rematch. It's not going to be better than this match, but it's going to be pretty damn good. Or, you give a shot to somebody else in the meantime, shout out Varsity. I don't give a shit. Like, that's the thing, is that they have a ton of options that they want to do. But what I'm really curious about is the women's division, because I truly don't think Soho is going to win the title off of Britt Baker right now. Britt Baker's too much. He's too money. So
that's their only homegrown, to be honest with you.
I mean, I don't know. I think that there's potential. There's potential in certain people to be big players. I think that Hayter and I think that Statlander coming back, like I think Statlander has proven that she's going to be a nice commodity to have. I think that Hayter is going to be really good in the future. And I think that Cargill still has a ton of potential. I think that, NXT has some really good homegrowns that we should never forget. I like Darby Allin a lot, but I don't think I can ever see him as AEW champion. I could see him as TNT champion, but not while Miro's champion. It's just, and that's the thing is like, now, and I know Tony Khan's like there was no mid card, but like the Miro thing is what's going to be interesting for me, because they kind of just gave him an opponent just to give him a match, and I don't really like that too much.
We got a shirt out of it. Redeem these nuts.
Redeem these nuts. That was the biggest. That was the most sold shirt this past week or something like that since the beginning of the thing. So like from Wednesday to now. Like that was like the most sold shirt. So good for Kingston. But now Danielson's shirt, Cole's shirt, and Soho's shirt have hit the market earlier today. So I ended up buying Adam Cole's t-shirt to give to my dad for his birthday. So very fun.
Prince Petty, as a mark, right? I mean, you love this sport. You definitely love AEW. I know you throw WWE in the trash. You ain't worried about that. What do you want to see?
I used to love NXT.
You did until they neutered it. But now, what would you like to see from AEW at this point?
Oh no, I'm starting with WWE. All right, the edibles are kicking in. So with Extreme Rules, right? You got all those people you still want to get rid of on NXT. For the pre-show for Extreme Rules, you put all the people you want to cut in a battle royal, but a real battle royal, right? And the last 3 standing get to keep their jobs. So you might have Maverick and Gargano and Ciampa actually stay with WWE and they go to the main roster, right? So that's where I book them. Can
Nick Khan fire the winner anyway?
Yeah, he could. Nick Khan's got that power, and that'll be before he sells to Disney. AEW. I mean, I thought that Kota Ibushi storyline would be amazing because that would make Kenny not a heel in some way, shape, or form. That's really good long-term booking. But I mean, I think they're already on a good path. Like you've got, like what I said, you can rotate the roster out, and now you have a reason to watch Rampage. Like CM Punk's debut was a thing, but before that, who was really going to turn into Rampage? Like I'm turning in this Friday because I really do want to see that match. And if you keep putting on bangers like that as your main event for a 45 to an hour show, then I'm gonna tune in. But yeah, I mean, I think with what they have going on, you have your possible Bray Wyatt debut. That's it. You're good. I mean, you have a solid roster to rotate from. I don't think there's anything for them to really worry about. Like at this point, you just need to prevent injuries, which I mean you can do by giving people time off now.
So my standpoint is this: WWE simply a culture change. Like, right? It needs to find a way, which not per se to go back to the Attitude Era, but that culture shift that happened when the Attitude Era happened. That's what needs to happen again. And I don't know how you recreate lightning in the bottle like that. Like, I don't know how you do it, right?
You got to sell to Disney.
I think Nick Khan, from a business standpoint, he's very intelligent because, again, you got a locker room full of people that you paying that ain't really doing nothing for you, and they want to go anyway. That's going to, change your environment a little bit because they're not going to be toxic per se. Even though they're toxic because of their environment, but that's neither here nor there. But you kind of relieve some of that pressure from that point. I think they do need to have another round of releases, right? And that's going to help out, again, their main roster and start developing some of this younger talent they have. They have some great talent coming up with Parker Bardot, Bronson Reed,
Odyssey,
RIP.
baby.
Odyssey Jones. They have some great people. That
Carmelo
NXT
Hayes.
rebrand isn't a bad thing, right? I don't think it's a bad thing. We talked about it last week on the podcast, and now going back and thinking about it, NXT might be in a better place because they had some bangers when they weren't on TV, right? We got what we wanted. We got them on TV, but it wasn't the best move for them, okay? That's okay. But they had some bangers when they weren't on TV. They went on a network. NXT needs to instantaneously go back to the network. Somehow, some way, once this TV deal is done, the NXT needs to go back to the network and make us go there to watch it. And if you want to keep it at 2 hours, cool. If you don't, that's also cool. You know what I mean? Developmental needs to be developmental, and we need to fall in love with the people in developmental like we did all over again. As for the main roster problem, more power in the mid card and more tag teams. They really neglected those two things. And when wrestling was hot, tag team was hot, the mid card was hot. We can tell me how many, for real, think about it, how many great feuds you had for the US title. Just for real, think about it. You had MVP Matt Hardy. I mean, it's a ton of them. The Intercontinental Championship, you had a ton of great feuds. They need to put
That was ages ago.
I'm just saying they need to put more focus there. As for AEW has so much momentum right now, and I'm so glad for them. But when WWE cuts these people, avoid the blow, right? Everybody's not a good pickup. that's that. I don't think they should pick up Braun Strowman. No. I honestly don't think they should pick up Buddy Murphy. No. Like, Bray Wyatt, yeah, would that be good? But Bray Wyatt needs to be the last person for a while.
Right.
Yeah,
Until
I
Kota
agree.
Ibushi shows up.
And what
But
they
he'd still be with New Japan.
and what they need to do though, is really focus and mellow out that women's division. I wish that NWA did not get Mickey James. Empower was a really good show for those that watched it. I really enjoyed women actually headlining a pay-per-view. It was a fun pay-per-view to watch through and through. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
I too enjoy women.
Same.
Wrestling.
Sky Blue, hey.
So, I think really, no disrespect to Kenny for real, but they need to really find a strong woman that can really work with this booking and work with that female talent in the back. Red Velvet right now, I'm enjoying her. Like, she's on the come up. Haters on the come up. Even Jade looked strong the other night. So with that being said, it's really to focus on that women's division, get that flushed out, and continue to do stuff different. But don't fall in that cycle. Again, for the last 2 years, we've ended pay-per-views with debuts or a debut in the middle of a show and then nothing happens. Prime example, Andrade's worst debut ever. These ones.
This was on Dynamite though. That wasn't a pay-per-view.
What's up, Javon? Yeah, face you made with Andrade's.
Because it was the worst, and I feel bad.
I feel bad for him. Worst. It was the worst, right? Moxley's debut up until this point was one of the best. That I enjoyed the shit out of that one. That was the one. That was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Moxley's
actually had storyline involved.
Yeah. So, but these debuts need to have some type of weight. Like, we need to feel it. So when somebody debuts, let's not just have them fucking show the fuck up. Let's have them super kick somebody in the fucking face, or let them screw somebody over.
Adam Cole did that last night.
Yeah, perfect example. He's a part of the storyline.
Yeah,
Adam Cole just kicked the shit out of Jungle Boy last night.
Yeah, he's still dead.
Look,
reports say that Jack Perry has actually never left the United Center.
Fair. I'm just saying that I would have felt more of an impact if you would kick Christian in the mouth.
I would have felt more impact.
Christian was already on the ground, bro.
I don't care.
If he had just kicked Kenny Omega, like, we would have been the most impact I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that would have been great too. But these bottom line is these debuts need to have some type of weight. Point blank and period. Again, I can't wait to see Full Gear. Hopefully, it's not a B show.
B+.
I thought it was fair. I thought I was gonna be the bad guy because I said B. Like,
I don't think anything's wrong with the B+. Like, WWE hasn't had any A shows all year.
Right. We grade WWE hard as fuck.
Yeah,
but
NXT, like, that's different because that's like RIP. So you can't really count that
NXT,
anymore.
So we've always graded them well.
Yeah, but WWE, like, I can't remember the last time they had a great show. Like, SummerSlam wasn't even
right.
good.
But if
you
I
had two debuts on SummerSlam.
Look, if I got a B, I will be okay, girl. Like, I'm like, oh, I got a B, good. That's
you still pass.
Yeah, hell yeah. I fucking at least I get a C.
I thought B+ was good. I thought I was the bad guy. I mean, you're still the bad guy.
I mean, my role is very clear. I don't give a fuck at all.
Looks like such a disappointed parent.
Huh?
I said Jacoby looks like such a disappointed parent.
It's okay. Tell his wrestling federation to step it up a little bit more and get that A. You know what I mean? Maybe
They've had A's in the past.
Maybe
there's been times
Cody
where
there. Hold on, wait, Blake. Maybe they had Cody there. It would have been an A+. Maybe they had Brandy Rose wrestling in the main event. Boom. Fucking flying colors versus Lana. That's what you want?
I agree with Brandy. You can move with that Cody bullshit, but yeah, Brandy should get more time.
He just turned his camera off. Poor thing. So, gentlemen, all in all, we're excited for the next. we're we're excited for the next steps in the wrestling community. Anybody got a quick Monday Night Raw recap before we go? Did something happen important or just the same?
Tag turmoil was happening, I guess.
Vince McMahon came out and was like, "Don't watch it anymore. Watch us, please, please."
We're gonna give the fans what they want.
And then
He
they
should
bring
just
back
come out and
Tori
say-
Wilson's
he-
legs. That's
He should
all.
honestly just come out and be like, "Fuck them niggas."
He said it before.
Or for real, like
That
we
ex-
gave him
that
a pass,
exact-
he should
that
honestly
exact
just come
wording,
out and
yeah.
say that shit.
And he
Fuck
said it to
Adam
John
Cole.
Cena of all
Fuck
people.
them. Go on a rampage, Vince. Like,
What if Vince storms Rampage?
hell, yeah, that's what he should do. Just come out and be like, man, fuck Adam Cole, fuck Brian Dare, fuck CM Punk, fuck all them niggas.
This is
over
where
there.
you all are, huh?
We ain't going nowhere, and that's that.
Where's Jericho? And
He'll
then
be
he looks at Kenny. He looks like Kenny Omega up and down, and is like, "Too small." Looks at Miro and is like, "Oh, that's what you were. Why couldn't you do that for me?" You know what I mean? Like,
So real quick, just a tidbit that just came across my desk. Last night at the pay-per-view, Scott D'Amore, Jerry Lawler, Jeff Jarrett, Eric Bischoff, Kurt Angle, and Mike Cardona was all backstage.
All
Yeah.
you boys.
The boys, you know.
we all
All you
knew.
boys.
We all knew that Kurt Angle was coming back.
They're just hanging out.
Yeah.
No, we don't need Kurt Angle to come back unless that stem cell really fixes next. Shit.
He don't need the stem cell. He just needs some perk.
Oh.
Just give him the
Wow.
perks. He'll be all right.
Well, as always, you can follow us at
So for all of this compelling content, you can always find us on all streamable platforms with the audio podcast, including Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, you name it, we are there. If you want to, support this channel, you can always, if you like these video podcasts, give us a subscribe, man. We love it. We love you guys. And always give us a call for our Monday night mailbox. And that number is,
Maybe they shouldn't call us, like
why not? That'd be hilarious. We had Nate call us. Well, technically we called him, but we have the technology.
Hmm.
We have the technology. Okay, they can call us if they need.
Yeah, I guess the number is 757-528-2481.
we definitely want to hear how you felt about All Out though. So
Absolutely.
Flood Monday Night, what your All Out feelings, right? And hopefully we can get all four of us together again to definitely respond to that Monday Night mailbox.
I don't think y'all want to.
I want to.
I've already seen a couple of them.
Ooh, they there?
I ain't had the time or the
Oh,
energy.
Jesus.
Okay, we will be at you guys this upcoming week. No, Jake, wrong, right?
So not this Thursday, but we're gonna try to do something this weekend, and we're definitely doing a Tuesday show with a new friend, new face for you guys. But in the meantime, Tehran, it's Daddy Dussy's birthday, so go get some Badussy, and we will see you all next time.
Birthday sex is the best.
Go all out.